Powered by passion, it's National Auto Care's Fixed Ops 5 with your host, National Fixed Operations Training Manager, Corey Smith.
Welcome to another Fixed Ops 5 podcast. I'm your host, Corey Smith. Alongside me is a person who's authored 2 books, and he's also the founder and executive chair at WarCloud. He's been working with dealerships for over 30 years. Jim Roach, welcome to Fixed Ops 5.
Thanks, Corey. It's great to be with you. Appreciate the invitation.
Oh, this is going to be a great topic to talk about. There's one quote that you said recently that I was really, it's really been in my head a lot lately. It's the quote where you say, you're in the service department, you see a stack of ROs, and you say, well, those aren't just a stack of repair orders, that's a stack of money, right?
That's right. And it is. And what's even more interesting, it's not just a stack of ROs, which is a stack of money, but typically the stacks of repair orders that are on somebody's desk are not the simple ones. They're usually the complex ones, and the complex ones are usually the really high dollar ones. So when I say it's not a stack of ROs, I say it's a stack of money. What I should say is it's a big stack of money.
Yeah, that's what now that's going to stick in my head for the rest of the week. Thanks. So one question I have for you is, what is the state of dealerships today when it comes to profitability?
Yeah, it's a great time to be a dealer, isn't it? Dealers are selling every vehicle that they can get their hands on, new and used. And because of this aberration we have with an inventory shortage now driven by a chip shortage, the old laws of supply and demand, dealers are making pretty good margins for the first time in a while on selling cars. Service has pretty much returned to pre-COVID levels. It's a great time to be a dealer.
It truly is. This almost reminds me of like the housing market that we're dealing with right now. I could sell my used car and probably make pretty good money, but I have nothing that I can buy to replace
it. Exactly. That's the catch-22, right? Your asset is appreciated, but so has everyone else's.
Right. So going forward, what is the future when it comes to, retaining that customer that is buying whether a used car or a new car into the service department, going forward? Yeah,
it's when you said, Corey, what's the state of the industry? I mean, I'm answering literally for right now. There are storm clouds on the horizon, and we're heading into some challenging times. First, of course, we're selling everything we get our hands on, but it looks like this inventory shortage driven by a chip shortage is going to get worse before it gets better. And so it's just going to get tougher and tougher to find new vehicles to sell. And I expect that the used vehicle market as well, there's some early signs that that's going to become less frothy. I haven't heard anybody with a good crystal ball of how many fewer we're going to sell, what this chip shortage is going to cost us. But that's not surprising. We've been, as an industry, dealing for years with a problem. If we're not selling enough units, we're not making enough money on selling cars. I mean, pre-COVID, according to vAuto, the average new vehicle margin was about 2.3%, and the average used vehicle margin was about 5.8%. So, those terms will reassert themselves as we move forward. So essentially what that means is that service is going to be the profit driver of the dealership going forward. In 2019, for the first time in over 40 years, service drove more than 50% of total dealership gross. And I think pretty quickly we're going to be back to that. Not that that's a bad thing, right?
No.
Let's just say, service is the new profit driver going forward, as it gets harder to source and make money on selling cars.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put that. And with the 2 books that you've written, that really help the service department, I would highly recommend any service advisor or even a manager read those books. You were mentioning earlier that you had a friend of yours have you publish it in Russia. Is that right?
Exactly. Both books were published in Russia recently, and the reason is that they're looking to import U.S. dealership best practices to Russia. And I guess there are a lot of books that have been written on how to sell cars, but only a couple on how to service cars. So it's a privilege, and it's a fun thing to talk about.
Right, right. Tell me a little bit about WarCloud. What do you guys do there?
Well, rather than, I mean, I'll sort of by association talk about WarCloud, but it's related to what's happening in the world of dealerships. So if you look at, okay, we know that long-term service is going to be the profit driver of the dealership, right? No problem with that. But then, you've got, so if that's the case, you've got to concern yourself with the health of your service department. Now, if you look at the last 3 or 4 years, and again, I'm going pre-COVID, the average service department growth in the United States was about 2.6%, right? Which is, listen, we'll take any amount of growth, but that's certainly not double digits. So 2.6. Okay. Well, there are two primary revenue drivers of service. One is, of course, warranty, and the other is customer pay. So if you look at the two of them, that's where the story starts to get interesting. Customer pay growth on average in the United States in 2019 was about 1.3%. So pretty anemic when it comes to customer pay growth. Now you contrast that against warranty. Over the last 5 years, warranty has grown over 38%, an average of 7.7% per year. So what this realization is sort of two-tier. One, service is the new profit driver of the dealership, okay? And two, warranty is the growth engine of the service department. And I don't think that's a fact that a lot of service leaders have embraced. It's something that's sort of beneath the surface, and we need to get it above the surface because it's incredibly important.
Yeah, and I think you make an interesting point there.
Thank you. Warranty is a big growth driver, and it's going to be into the near term as well, for I think 3 primary reasons. One, we're putting more and more technology into the vehicles as we march down this path to autonomy, and more tech typically means more repairs that need to be done. The second is that I believe that the manufacturers will lengthen warranties. I mean, Rivian just came out with their new warranty. It's 5 years, 60,000 miles, which is better than anybody else in the industry of the volume brands. And I think we'll see them follow suit. And third, based on what state you're in, dealers can petition to increase either their parts markup or their labor rate or both for warranty. And I think primarily those 3 factors are going to continue to drive an increase in warranty over the next 5 years, about what we saw in the previous 5. So I'll go on record and say that I think warranty will continue to increase from 2021 forward, probably another 35 to 40%, which is great to know, because that means that the dealer service department has a built-in growth engine that they can count on.
That's true. I mean, when I worked in the service department, it was almost saying that warranty was a pain. I wanted to deal with customer pay stuff. It was almost in the same line as internals. So now how you're looking at it, you're absolutely right. It's free money, and I think the next 5 years, you're absolutely on point with that it's going to continue to be a driving factor. Is there any?
Corey, I don't mean to interrupt, but I smile when you say it's free money, because that's why it's not. There's some issues there, and those are the drivers of why I created WarCloud. In a nutshell, we've got this situation that we have in terms of warranty and it becoming a bigger and bigger contributor to overall service department revenue. No problem with that. But when you look at warranty, interestingly, warranty processing is one of the few areas of the dealership that has not been made more efficient with technology. There's no automation related to warranty processing. So what you have is last year, dealers in the United States spent 1.6 billion, that's billion with a B, on warranty processing. In other words, to take that repair order and do things to it so that it could be submitted to the factory and the dealer gets paid. 1.6 billion a year works out to be on average 6.1% of the value of the repair order. Wow. So that means that over 6 cents of every dollar has a bite taken out of it by the cost of warranty processing. And that's the average in the United States. If you go to the coast, because of the expensive employees, it's more expensive. For example, in California, it's 7.2%. But the average across the country, 6.1%. And if you look at other industries that do claims processing, they are a fraction of what the automotive industry is. And that's because they have technology, they have automation, and we do not. And so that's what we did with WarCloud. We've created the industry's first and only warranty processing platform where we use cloud technology to essentially automate warranty processing, bring the dealer's costs way down, get their time to submit these claims faster, get the errors, as many as we can, out of the system. We don't eliminate warranty administrator, but we repurpose it in a different way, and it gets the dealer's costs way down.
Well, I really like that a lot, because then they'll be able to retain more of that dollar.
Exactly. And as we go forward in time, listen, if you look at the last 25, 30 years in the automotive industry, it's a challenging industry, right? It gets harder and harder to make money. And so the dealers, who are the most wonderful entrepreneurs in the world, right? They're so resilient, they're so imaginative, they keep finding new ways to survive and thrive. This is yet another one of those challenges, right? It's going to get warranty is going to go up, but you've got to find ways to leverage technology so that overall dealership profitability remains robust.
Are there any other dangers or any other concerns about how this warranty is going to continue to go on within the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, it's related to what I said, but here's an important factor. So let's say that my crystal ball is right, and we're going to see warranty continue to rise, right? Well, in today's environment, what that means is that the dealer is going to have more volume, more transactions, and they're going to need more people to process that. Okay, so keep that thought in mind. Warranty processing today is a very manual, labor-intensive process. Primarily, it's people with tribal knowledge locked in their heads, but it's also a dying skill set. I mean, the last time I checked, and I think you'll agree and maybe get a chuckle out of this, there aren't a lot of millennials or Gen Zers lined up outside the dealership saying, hey, I really want to use that green screen tech so I can push warranty into the factory.
Right, no, not at all.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a dying art. So there's the trouble, right? Is that it's already a high turnover position, and it's getting harder and harder to recruit people. So again, it seems that that the natural solution is that we leverage technology. So we let the computers do a lot of the work, so that we can leverage the really, really complex claims for the remaining people in their skill set.
That's perfect. So as we wrap up here with the podcast, Jim, what are 3 takeaways if you're an advisor or a manager of the dealership, or even an agent that is, a partner with the dealerships? What are 3 really good takeaways that you can take from this conversation?
Yeah, well, I think one is that you just we have to have awareness of our businesses, right? So be aware that service is going to be the profit driver, and be aware. I'm not saying let's not sell customer pay work. Of course not. I'm just saying let's recognize that warranty has a rising importance in the overall revenue mix, and that we need to recognize that it has some profit challenges and that those need to be addressed.
Well said. I think that's perfect. Well, Jim, I greatly appreciate you being a part of this podcast. It was an honor. Hopefully, the next time I see you in person, I'll bring my books with me and you can sign them for me.
My daughter would tell you that if you have me sign them on eBay, that's considered defacing them. So
I think it would be great if you signed them. So
it would be my honor.
And again, I appreciate you being part of this podcast. I know you're a busy person, taking some time out to talk to all of us. I'd love to have you on another episode, but that's all the time that we have for today, Jim. Really appreciate you and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thanks for having me.
All right, take care.
Thank you for watching and listening to National Auto Care's Fixed Ops 5 with Corey Smith, powered by Passion. Be sure to watch and listen to the next episode on the 5th and 20th of every month.